Buckingham Palace have slammed the Prince Harry and Meghan Markle Sussex drama. Trust me when I tell you that Prince Harry is not a well man. This is a man totally overwhelmed by the wacky-backy. Trust me when I tell you that Prince Harry is not a well man. This is a man totally overwhelmed by the wacky-backy. Even his holiday in Portugal is designed to go to a place where you can smoke the wacky-backy legally. By the way, Harry, you can't do it in this country, so I'm quite surprised he wants to come back.
Just when Prince Harry and Meghan Markle thought they were finally heading back to Britain, everything appears to be falling apart. What was supposed to be one of the biggest royal comebacks in years is now surrounded by chaos, controversy, and a growing list of unanswered questions. Reports suggest the Sussexes' planned UK trip could be in serious trouble, and the reason behind it is causing an absolute storm. Here's where things become even stranger now. This isn't just about security anymore.
A shocking headline in the Mail on Sunday: dismay for the King, as Harry says he may not bring Meghan and the kids to London, having been refused armed royal protection.
Critics are once again pointing to Harry's past admissions about substance use, questioning whether years of controversial decisions, public battles, and constant drama have finally caught up with him. Meanwhile, Meghan is facing accusations of trying to cash in on every headline, with critics claiming she somehow manages to turn even the biggest royal controversies into business opportunities. And if that wasn't enough, King Charles is once again being dragged into the middle of the mess.
Harry's security meltdown. He is losing his mind. The increasingly mad and unhinged Duke of Sussex has gone completely crazy over personal security during his return trip to the United Kingdom.
Because the trip that was supposed to bring Harry, Meghan, Archie, and Lilibet back to Britain may not even happen at all. For weeks, there had been growing speculation that Harry was preparing for a major return to the UK. This wasn't supposed to be just another quick visit. There were reports of important engagements, possible family meetings, and perhaps the biggest talking point of all, Archie and Lilibet potentially returning to Britain alongside their parents. After years of family tensions, years of interviews, documentaries, accusations, and public feuds, many believe this could finally be the moment when at least some bridges started getting rebuilt.
You're not even getting the palace. Do you know what? You're not getting to stay in Buckingham Palace because you have shamed this country, shamed the British royal family. You're not even getting the palace.
Instead, the exact opposite appears to be happening. The entire trip is now being overshadowed by yet another security battle. Harry has spent years fighting over protection arrangements in Britain. Ever since stepping down as a working royal, he has argued that the level of security provided to him and his family is no longer sufficient. The issue has followed him through court battles, public statements, and endless headlines. Now it's back again. And according to growing reports, concerns over security may have become so serious that the entire visit could be scaled back or even abandoned altogether.
The only reason he wants to come here, and everyone needs to realize this, is because his career has collapsed in the United States of America. Meghan Markle's dream of becoming a Hollywood billionaire in America has collapsed. It's over. The staff are leaving. The rats are abandoning this sinking ship.
The reaction online was immediate. Many people simply couldn't understand it. Critics pointed out that Harry has traveled all over the world in recent years. He has attended events across multiple countries. He has appeared publicly in locations many would consider far more dangerous than central London. So why is Britain suddenly being painted as the place where he feels uneasy bringing his family? That's the question people keep throwing out again and again. And the more this story unfolds, the more attention it pulls in from every direction. Because whether you support Harry or you don't, one thing is hard to ignore. Every time a major royal reunion feels close, another crisis seems to pop up out of nowhere.
Now, Meghan Markle, speaking of appropriate time, believes that this moment is a great time to sell her new honey. Don't buy it, by the way. Sounds awful. Lavender honey.
But then the situation took yet another twist. As security concerns kept dominating the headlines, critics started bringing back something Harry probably wishes would stop following him: his own past comments about substances. Over the past few years, Harry has openly spoken about using psychedelic substances and other substances during different stages of his life. He described some of those experiences as part of trying to cope with trauma and emotional struggles. At the time, those admissions made headlines all over the world. Now they're being dragged back into the spotlight again. Several commentators have suggested that Harry's recent actions raise new questions about his judgment. Others argue that his ongoing clashes with institutions, family members, governments, and the media have become harder to make sense of over time.
And this is the whole problem, isn't it? Because Meghan sees an opportunity in everything. All of the drama of this trip has suited her because every time she sees more headlines, she thinks, I'm going to tailor a was never mail out. It's weird. And this is the problem. And this is why none of this half in, half out Megxit is ever going to work.
To be clear, these are opinions from critics, not confirmed facts. But the conversation is getting louder anyway. And for Harry, the timing couldn't really be worse. Instead of headlines focused on veterans' work, charity efforts, or family reconciliation, the spotlight is once again locked onto controversy. The planned UK visit is now under pressure. The security dispute is taking over coverage. Questions about his past are resurfacing, and public debate is intensifying more and more each day. Meanwhile, Meghan Markle has found herself pulled into a completely different kind of storm.
Numerous massive crises of confidence for Harry, because he realizes, holy shit, this is what I'm facing.
Because while the royal drama was exploding across headlines, critics noticed something else happening quietly in the background. Another product launch, another business promotion, another move to expand her lifestyle brand. This time, it was honey, yes, honey. While conversations about royal security, family tension, and a possible canceled UK trip dominated the news cycle, attention also shifted toward Meghan's newest product push, and critics wasted no time jumping on it. They accused her of doing exactly what critics have been saying for years, turning attention into profit, no matter where that attention comes from. Supporters say she's just running a business. Critics see something completely different. They argue that every major controversy somehow circles back into another product, another launch, another way to stay in the spotlight. Fair or unfair, that perception has become a major issue for the Sussexes. Because right now, a lot of people aren't talking about reconciliation. They're not talking about healing. They're not talking about moving forward.
This U-turn, this drama over security, this threat to cancel the trip comes from Meghan. Is this all a plan? Has this been storyboarded in advance, like one of Meghan's episodes of Suits? So although the children were not expected to appear at any public engagements, Meghan had been due to accompany Harry to events including visits to the Royal Hospital Chelsea, which is not actually a hospital, even though Meghan loved going to the hospital.
They're talking about security disputes, business moves, and a royal trip that now looks like it could fall apart. And if Harry thought the security situation was already damaging, the conversation around this trip gets even more uncomfortable when you look at what some royal watchers believe is really going on behind the scenes. Because for all the talk about family healing and reconciliation, a growing number of critics believe this visit was never only about seeing relatives. They argue it was about something much more powerful: relevance. Let's be real. Every time Harry and Meghan appear alongside senior members of the royal family, global attention snaps right back to them. Headlines explode. Social media lights up instantly. TV panels spend days breaking down every photo, every gesture, every expression. The royal connection is still their strongest attention trigger. And that's exactly why this UK trip created so much noise. For years, Harry and Meghan have tried to build an identity outside the monarchy.
Meghan Markle, who denounced the United Kingdom and the royal family as racist, cruel and hateful, is apparently returning here in just over 2 weeks' time with her children to stay in a royal palace provided by the king himself.
There have been big interviews, multi-million-dollar deals, podcasts, documentaries, books, lifestyle projects, business ventures. Some landed well, others faded out fast. But one thing never really changed. The biggest attention always still comes from royal-related stories. Stories involving King Charles, stories involving William, stories involving Britain itself. And that's why some commentators believe this trip carried way more weight than anyone was openly admitting. Because right now, both Harry and Meghan are facing a tough reality. Public interest hasn't disappeared, but the hype around their independent projects isn't hitting like it used to. The podcast headlines faded.
I'll tell you why he is slamming his father publicly, because what he's saying is, oh, the issue's never been accommodation, so it's not good enough. It's not good enough that the king is going to give us Buckingham Palace. We need more.
The documentary buzz faded. Several business ventures struggled to maintain long-term momentum. And critics increasingly argue that no matter what direction is taken, everything eventually circles back to the same place: the royal family. That's why some observers believe this trip was never just about reconnecting with relatives. They say it was about rebuilding value behind a Sussex brand. And then there are the children. So Archie and Lilibet have become one of the most talked about elements in the entire discussion. Every time a UK visit is mentioned, attention instantly shifts to them. Will they travel? Will they meet King Charles? Will new photos finally surface? Will the public get a clearer look into their lives? The curiosity is massive, and many critics believe Harry and Meghan fully understand how powerful those questions are. The idea of Archie and Lilibet returning to Britain instantly turned what could have been a simple visit into a global headline story. But now even that outcome is looking uncertain.
They lied about everything to do with their time within the royal family, even when they were within the royal family. They lied about the truth of Archie's birth, even when they were within the royal family. And so it sickens me to see members of the royal rota bend down to these liars.
If the trip falls apart, one of the biggest storylines disappears with it. No family reunion, no emotional photo moments, no historic meeting, no symbolic images that would dominate global coverage. And that's where things start getting uncomfortable for the Sussexes. Because if security truly was the deciding factor, many people will accept that explanation. But if the trip collapses after weeks of build-up and speculation, critics are almost certain to ask a sharper question. Why announce so much in the first place? Why let expectations grow so high? Why give the impression that a major family moment was coming when uncertainty still surrounded the whole situation? Those questions are not fading away anytime soon. Meanwhile, King Charles once again finds himself stuck in the middle of a situation he never seems able to step out of.
The British royal family does not need to bow down to its two most hated members. Or let's just say former members now. Because Harry may be a royal by blood, but I don't think any of us consider Meghan part of that family.
Multiple reports suggest the king remains open to seeing Harry and his grandchildren if the visit actually goes ahead. And honestly, that's not shocking at all. Despite everything that has unfolded over the past several years, Charles has consistently shown a willingness to keep communication lines open. But insiders and commentators have also suggested that patience within royal circles is starting to wear thin. Not because of one single moment, but because of the repeated cycle. A new controversy surfaces. Headlines blow up, reconciliation gets talked about. Then another issue appears, another disagreement follows. Another round of public debate kicks off, and the whole pattern resets again. For people watching from the outside, that cycle has become impossible to miss, especially since this latest wave of drama arrived at the exact moment attention was supposed to be focused elsewhere. The Invictus Games were expected to be a key part of Harry's visit. For years, Invictus has been one of the strongest pillars of his public image, and even many critics of Harry acknowledge the impact the project has had on wounded veterans. But once again, conversations about service, recovery, and charity work have been pushed into the background. The headlines are not about veterans. They're about security disputes. They're about family tension. They're about royal conflict. And that creates a real issue, because whenever controversy overshadows the cause, the original purpose risks getting lost.
This guy has been on a descent into madness for a very long time. But he has now just lost the plot altogether. You know, crying in Portugal, sobbing. He's an embarrassment. This is a guy full of life's privileges who should be trying to be a father to those two children who I think are going to be left incredibly messed up as a result of all of this.
At the same time, another uncomfortable reality keeps following the Sussexes. Public opinion remains sharply divided. They still have loyal supporters, but they also face heavy skepticism from critics. Every statement gets dissected, every appearance gets analyzed, every decision sparks debate. And right now, that level of scrutiny may be stronger than it has been in years. Part of the problem is that expectations were sky high. People expected a breakthrough. People expected real progress. Instead, what they got was another crisis. And then there's Prince William. Even though most of the attention stays locked on Harry and Charles, a lot of royal commentators still point to William as the biggest barrier to any real reconciliation. Reports for years have suggested that the relationship between the brothers is still deeply fractured. And unlike Charles, William is often described as someone far less willing to reopen old wounds. Whether every detail of those reports is fully accurate or not, one thing is clear. A dramatic brotherly reunion is not something anyone is expecting anytime soon, which creates another layer of pressure for Harry. Because even if things with his father improve, the wider family situation remains extremely complicated. The divisions are still there, the tension is still there, and this latest controversy has done nothing to ease it.
Although Charles is irredeemably weak, the UK authorities are taking no nonsense. And they've stood up to Harry, and they have brought him into contact with the consequences of his own actions. The UK authorities have said, I'm so sorry, but you decided to leave the UK, you gave up your royal duties. So that's how life works. You know, in life, you get good stuff and you get bad stuff, and it's a deal that you make. Every transaction in your life, there is an advantage and there is a compromise. There is a benefit and there is a duty. That is every transaction in your life contains a good thing and a not so good thing.
That's exactly why many observers believe the next few weeks could be a turning point. If the trip goes ahead, Harry and Meghan will be under intense pressure to avoid any new drama. Every move will be monitored, every appearance will be analyzed, every interaction will be turned into headlines. But if the visit collapses, the fallout could be just as serious. Questions about security will continue, questions about family relationships will continue, questions about Harry and Meghan's public image will continue, and most importantly, questions about whether they can ever fully separate themselves from royal controversy will continue too. Because after everything that has happened, one reality is hard to escape. Years after stepping away from royal life, Harry and Meghan still seem unable to fully leave it behind. And judging by the chaos surrounding this UK trip, royal drama may still be the one thing they can't avoid, no matter how hard they try. And that's what makes the whole situation so compelling, because no matter how far they've tried to build a life outside the monarchy, they always seem to end up right back in the middle of another royal storm. Just think about it. This trip was supposed to feel different. The focus was meant to be on official engagements, on family, on moving forward, and on showing the world that years of tension were finally starting to settle down.
We know what this guy is about, and we're never going to trust him again. But he had won over the mainstream media only to blow the whole thing up. And now trying to make everyone forget, oh no, I didn't blow the whole thing up. We're going back to our plans. It's nuts because he is nuts.
Instead, the headlines grew even bigger than before. Security disputes, questions about whether the visit will even happen at all, fresh criticism aimed at Harry, new scrutiny directed at Meghan, and a growing sense that everything is getting more complicated, not less. What stands out the most is how fast the narrative shifted. One moment, people were discussing a possible return to Britain. The next moment, people were questioning whether Harry and Meghan would show up at all. That is not the kind of attention any public figure wants, because uncertainty fuels speculation. Speculation fuels rumors, and rumors turn into headlines that are almost impossible to control. For Harry, this could be one of the toughest challenges he has faced since stepping away from royal duties. For years, he has said that leaving Britain was necessary for his family.
Sheer stupidity. That is the only explanation for the last week and a half or so of news regarding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's alleged return to the UK. It is sheer unbelievable stupidity, imbecility, idiocracy.
For years, he has claimed he was building a better future. For years, he has spoken about finding freedom. But critics now argue that instead of escaping drama, he has ended up stuck inside a constant cycle of it. Every major appearance turns into controversy. Every big announcement turns into debate. Every opportunity gets overshadowed by another crisis. And that is exactly what seems to be happening right now. The security issue alone has become one of the most divisive parts of Harry's public life. Supporters believe he is simply trying to protect his family. Critics believe it has turned into an ongoing battle that overshadows everything else. Either way, the outcome is the same. The conversation is no longer about what Harry is trying to achieve. It is about the conflict itself. And that is a dangerous shift, because once that happens, people stop focusing on your message and start focusing only on the problems surrounding you. Meanwhile, Meghan is dealing with a different kind of pressure.
Now, folks, this gets worse because royal insiders spoke to the Daily Mail newspaper saying that if this trip doesn't happen, the king is going to be incredibly disappointed. He was very keen to have that royal reunion, which demonstrates what a forgiving personality King Charles is. I mean, I would argue irredeemably weak.
Over the last few years, she has worked hard to build herself as a businesswoman, entrepreneur, producer, and lifestyle figure. But every new project seems to run into the same wall. The royal drama always shows up first. And when critics saw her latest product launches appearing right alongside yet another major Sussex controversy, many immediately accused her of trying to capitalize on the attention. Again, whether that's fair or unfair almost doesn't even matter anymore, because perception is everything in this game. And right now, A growing number of people believe Harry and Meghan can't fully separate business from controversy. That perception follows them everywhere they go. It follows every interview, every announcement, every public appearance, every new project launch.
They run out of ideas, they can't really more work for Netflix or Spotify or any of the main streamers, and their finances are basically in jeopardy over the long term.
And it is getting harder and harder for them to shake it off. What's maybe most surprising is that none of this was unavoidable. This UK trip could have been simple. Show up, focus on the engagements, highlight the causes, avoid distractions, leave with positive headlines. Instead, everything got swallowed by speculation, arguments, and controversy even before the visit properly began. That's why some commentators say the real issue isn't whether the trip happens or not. The real issue is what people are actually talking about. And right now, people aren't talking about charity work. They aren't talking about achievements. They aren't talking about future goals. They are talking about another Sussex crisis, another public dispute, another chapter in a cycle of drama that seems to follow them everywhere. The biggest question now is simple. What happens next? If Harry and Meghan go ahead with the trip, every single detail will be watched closely. Every arrival, every appearance, every interaction, every photo, the pressure will be massive. But if the visit completely falls apart, the consequences could be just as intense. Because then the conversation shifts to something even bigger. Are Harry and Meghan losing control of their own story?
But I can tell you King Charles is still open to a meeting with Archie and Lily, even though it looks like they may only fly into the country for 24 hours.
For years, they have tried to shake their image on their own terms. Yet somehow, controversy keeps taking over the narrative. And that might be the most revealing part of all. Not the security issues, not the criticism, not the speculation, but the fact that even after everything they've done to move forward, the biggest headlines still seem to come from conflict. Maybe the trip happens, maybe it doesn't. Maybe the security issues get resolved. Maybe they don't. But one thing is clear without a doubt. The next few weeks could become one of the most important stretches Harry and Meghan have faced in years. Because the decisions made now won't just affect one visit. They could shape public perception of the Sussexes for a long time. And judging by the reaction already building, millions of people around the world will be watching every move closely. So what do you think?
So the media reported the trip is definitely happening. 22 hours later on Saturday evening, they blew the whole thing up. And it was because of security, which their own note had conceded was not available.
Is Harry right to keep pushing the security issue, or has it become another distraction? And do you think Harry and Meghan will actually make it to Britain, or will the plan fall apart before it even starts? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. We cover the biggest royal stories and breaking updates every single day, so you never miss what happens next. See you in the next one.